It's hard to understand the way that you went out. I bet you're living with a little hint of doubt. Maybe next time when you gotta show your hand, you won't cut and run, you'll finally make a stand. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Existential questions always get you down. All you want to know is are we lost or found? Is there something that you feel you need to chase? I bet you thought you put me in my place. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. You can run, you can hide, but inside, I'm finally getting to you. Yes, it's true. I still love you, but I am getting to you.
Stand by to initiate release sequencer. On my mark.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2, 1. Mark.
Welcome back to the Resupply. I forgot what the show was called for a second. To the Resupply with me, Guy Next Door.
And me, Van.
Bring you your semi-regular double tap of all things Space Marines and Laserforce. It's been so long, man. It's been so long I forgot the name of my own channel. It's like when...
It's been a week.
Yeah, ages. It's like when terrible parents forget the names of their kids. And they say, welcome back, you guys. Nice to see you, chat. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Stallion, what the hell what the hell was that ad you just had to watch?
No idea.
No idea, but if you got them Prime subs, old mate here will definitely put them in his back pocket for you. Hope everyone's doing good. You got a question for the podcast, thoughts on them kind of anthem short in the rugby today? Didn't know that was a thing. Mostly because I skipped through the anthems. Because I am patriotic. Hey, Than! Nice to see you. How are you?
It's nothing at all has happened this week. So, I'm just fine. And, no negative emotions out there in any way, shape, or form from this week. Literally woke up this morning with the start of a migraine, said fuck that, and went back to bed for 6.5 hours.
It's been a good one.
All the stress this week just kind of hit this morning, and it's like, woke up and was like, oh, I can feel that sitting behind my eyes.
Yeah.
And this is after I'd actually gotten an okay amount of sleep, for me at any rate. And it's just like, yeah, no, we're just not going to do this today. So
Well,
use the time I had and pass the fuck back out.
you'll be disappointed to hear that the worst thing that happened this week was that the New Zealand national anthem got skipped halfway through the All Blacks game. So that's the only terrible news I think I heard this week.
For sure.
You wouldn't pay for the
definitely
stadium?
the only thing.
Smart. I wouldn't either. I was umming and ahhing about, we'll touch on this very briefly. This ain't the forum, and we try and make this place a place where you can come and forget about dumb things or hardships. I thought about cancelling today's show. I don't know what I'm talking about, Daz. I thought about cancelling today's show because obviously, I don't know, like, DK, DK's obviously not here. He's pretty exhausted. You being pretty exhausted. I had a pretty busy week, although it was more physically exhausting than mentally. But we got a guest hanging out. We'll bring him in shortly, and I didn't want to do that to him, because this is probably the first opportunity that I've had anyway to get to know him a little bit better off the back of watching him dominate at Laserforce Internationals 2024. But we'll talk to him soon. We'll bring him in. I had a good week, dude. Aside, it was a good start of the week. I went and played in a disc golf tournament last weekend, hence the lack of show. And actually did all right. I didn't come last, which was the goal.
I mean, that is definitely a step up, because the first time you didn't you come last?
No,
that particular one?
No. I had never done this particular one before. This is
okay.
out like in the middle of nowhere in the South Island.
To be fair, most of the South Island is out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's a little place called Lake Oahu, or Ohau as the locals call it. There's plenty of white people corrected me in the South Island.
Oh no!
Yeah, I love it. It's my favorite thing to have proper pronunciation of Māori words in the South Island, because, it ruffles some feathers. But yeah, out in the middle of nowhere, beautiful lake, beautiful like mountain ranges just either side. Stunning, absolutely stunning part of the country. If anyone finds themselves here next year off the back of Nats, which, let's be fair, you should come over here. If you're going to go to Australia, come over here and have a look at New Zealand as well. Look, there's Northern telling us how to pronounce our town name. That's exactly what it felt like. But yeah, if you get a chance, Lake Oahu in the winter is pretty gorgeous. I mean, it's not winter now, but it snowed while we were down there.
Nice.
Oh, it was cool. Playing disc golf in gale force winds and rain, not ideal.
No.
But, in a beautiful place.
Like
it's pretty nice.
does seem like gale force winds and rain would, perhaps, just maybe, negatively impact your ability to get the disc from point A to point B. I'm just throwing that out there as a possibility that it might fuck with your ability to do certain things.
Yeah. Cries at the Oamaru drama. What's the Oamaru drama? Or Oamaru. What do they call it? I don't know, something stupid. I also found myself dressed as a minion, which I'm going to show you this once and then never again. Bam!
Clip that.
Oh, fuck, I forgot this is the internet.
Somebody please clip that.
Shit.
We have more than enough people to thank you too.
Yeah, two's got it. Yeah, that was a fun day. And I try to shoehorn a stream in. So I on Saturday, so we do the show Saturday afternoon, my time, obviously. Not that obvious for some of you, but we got finished early on Saturday, and I was gonna try and shoehorn in a podcast. Didn't quite work out, but we're at a point where so I bought myself a what's it called, ROG Asus ROG Ally X the other week, and used it to stream a pipe making stream. This is
sponsored.
Not
sponsored.
yeah, fuck, I wish.
Not sponsored.
But I have tested it. I think it's actually going to work out well for doing like this podcast, but like on the go. It's awesome.
Nice.
It's such a good like little piece of equipment. So yeah, I try to shoehorn one in, and internet said no, but also the boys were like, nah, bro, we made plans. There's no show today. So
Yeah, that I do 100% remember that coming into the group chat, being like, and it being like, "Hey, do you want to do it?" It was like,
no.
"Fuck right the fuck off! You said we weren't doing it. We made plans.
Yeah.
Go to hell." Is pretty much I think how that conversation went.
Yeah.
From both DK and me at that moment. So
Yeah.
it happens.
If they had good reception down there, I probably would have tried. Cool. Bam! I probably would have tried to do like a good disc golf stream, but it wasn't gonna work. So that's all right. We'll find someone with good reception so I can get something in.
And Gray, no, I don't gotta stay agile. I just don't. Nope. And in fact, I need to have a conversation with you with a whole other business rant about a thing.
Me or Gray?
Gray. You will not care in the slightest, but Gray will at least understand the rant that I am going to have to him later. So
Waterfall life.
Again, Steve-O, you don't care about this in
Okay.
the slightest.
Sweet, I don't care.
So don't worry about it.
Okay, I've stopped worrying. Look at my face.
That would imply that you worry about anything to start with. So
I worry about dumb things like, man, is there any more glass in this box of Lego? Stuff like that, adult stuff. Didn't get to play any laser tag this week. Hey, Photoshop expert. Oh yeah. Hopefully someone did. I'm assuming somewhere someone played some lasers. Weren't you gonna play some recently, or is that still happening? Is that still to come?
So Baden was out here for a few days this last week, and he and I were going to go play, and then the timing just didn't work out, so I did not get a chance to play any lasers.
That's so disappointing.
It happens.
I was hoping you were going to go, and then they were going to do the same shenanigans, like, you have to watch the instructional video before you can come in here. And then both of you could have been like, don't you know who we are? That would have been great. But alas, missed opportunity. That's what laziness gets you, kids. Gets you missed opportunities. I don't know.
Okay, Steve-O. I don't. Yeah, sure, fine, whatever.
Old man Than looks young. He needs to change his name. That's very nice of you.
I mean, that is nice. I like hearing that people don't think I'm as old as I actually am, but I am actually as old as I actually am. So.
The secret to youth is having some sweet Resupply merch. ! Merch in chat if you would like to get yourself some sweet Resupply merch. I don't even think the beanies are on there. Anyway. We've got a guest waiting in the wings, and they said it couldn't be done. In fact, perfect timing. He said it couldn't be done. Good luck creating a pun out of his name. Well, we've managed to go and do it. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming to the podcast young up and coming star out of the Loveland Laser Tag Center. Please welcome Strickva. Did I mute you? I did. Hey man, what's up?
Man. Hey, how's it going?
Good man, good. Thank you for bearing with our silly shenanigans in the background.
No worries.
How's things? How are you?
I mean, you're kind of stuck dealing with our shenanigans in the background because it's our show. So
Yeah. I've been doing pretty good. Life's been going. I actually, going to your point,
Yeah.
I actually got to play some laser last week.
I mean,
Happens every
awesome.
Wednesday.
Awesome, great. I do genuinely love that for you, but fuck you.
Hey man, all you gotta move to Loveland. It's every Wednesday. Just saying.
Yeah, Than. Just move to Loveland. You know you want to.
I do not. I think I genuinely think the winters there would kill me. So
Yeah, old people don't fare well in the snow, so
correct.
they've got
Yeah,
cold bones.
I might fall and break a hip.
Well, I'm glad. I was hoping actually. I didn't ask you obviously beforehand, but I was hoping that you guys got to play. Are you guys, like playing on the regular at the moment? Like, did you guys take a little bit of a break after Nats, or are you right back in the swing of things?
So some people took a break after Nats. Some people didn't, and just got right back into the swing of things. I unfortunately had to take a break because something came up with my life and I needed to go deal with it. So
These things happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're back in the swing of things. Unfortunately, next week we won't have any laser tag due to a private event canceling in Wednesday and Tuesdays. But what can we do?
I reckon it's
Yeah.
that pesky laser tag and pancakes club. I hear they're just ruining Space Marines. No, I'm just kidding. I'm glad, like, you know, we always find that there are, there's like a lull, there's like a post-Nats lull after Nats. So I'm glad that, you know, it hasn't really, taken hold of you guys, because obviously, you know, Loveland as a site, you guys had so much momentum heading into the tournament. You know, it's hard to kind of keep that going, right? Like, that's the idea though. You want to keep playing and have high quality games, but yeah, it is what it is. But let's get to know you a little bit. So how long have you been playing for? How long have you been playing like competitive, or even just non-competitive?
When I started playing competitively, I was in middle school. So I started, I want to say, when I was the age of 12,
Nice.
near 11. So I got introduced to it pretty early.
Hell yeah. That's I'm sorry, I just got like a fright. I forget that. Oh my god. I need to remove that. That thing scares the crap out of me every time it happens. But okay, so, and were you like straight into like competitive tag, or was it like casual?
So I used to go like almost every Sunday with like my parents to just hang out and just play laser tag at the local Loveland laser tag site that we have here in Loveland. But I truly got introduced to competitively right around 12. I immediately hit the ground running, and my brother who introduced me to it was obviously just like, yeah, this is going to be fun. And I obviously found fun because I was a dumb kid at the time. I was like, shooting lasers is fun. So I might as well hit the ground and running with this and enjoy it as long as I can.
Yeah, man.
And for people without their secret decoder rings, Strickva is Tucker's younger brother. So for those of you in chat who are like, wait a minute, what's this family connection here? That is the family connection. Is that you know, Tucker was enmeshed in everything and decided to enmesh his younger brother as well, which is, you know, perfect.
Yeah,
that's how that's supposed to go. You're supposed to, you know, rope your friends and family into the you know, cult of Space Marines 5.
Yeah, it's like a pyramid scheme.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, have I got a thing, right? So we go, we go play laser tag, right? And then you bring your 3 friends to play laser tag, right? And then they bring their 3 friends, and then we all get rich, baby. So you got in because Tucker got you in.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
And also the people around that I met throughout Tucker's like lifespan were pretty phenomenal friends.
Yeah.
I was just like immediately hooked because of the people around me, and you know, Tucker was just very advocated for me and was like, you know what, I think you should do this. You know, this seems really fun. You're having a lot of fun. And I was like, sure, why not?
That's rad. So are you like with the crew that are there, like, you know, it varies from site to site, but do you guys have the relationship where you hang out like away from tag as well? Like, do you do stuff outside of tag?
I mean, some of us, some of us are in a Discord together and we usually hang out and just chat it up and talk about it before tag or after tag.
Mm.
But normally we have this little ritual that we always stay like an hour after tag just talking about the night and just being like, yeah, oh, yeah, this happened. Oh, I could have improved on this. Oh, this happens. And yada, 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 X, Y, and Z.
I I I miss those post members night chats so hard. Oh my god, I miss those so much because yeah, you'd be like you get done and it's like, oh yeah, I should go home and sleep, do homework, whatever it is at the point in life that you are when you're at that moment in playing, and then you get done and you talk inside after the night for another like half an hour, and then the staff members kind of like it's like get the fuck out because I need to go home, and they lock the door, and then like another like half an hour 45 minutes you're still talking outside of the facility about the night, and then finally you look at your the time and go, oh fuck, I need to get home for,
I'm up in 4 hours.
Yeah. I miss it. I miss those nights in both Auckland and Sacramento.
What's really cool, right? So obviously, but between us, Strickva, like, there's a bit of an age gap, obviously. What's really cool to see is, and so not only the age gap, but also, like, we live kind of on opposite sides of the country. What's really cool is world, that's the word that I was looking for. What's cool to see is how, no matter where in the world that you play or what kind of era you played in, usually that conversation is like that happens everywhere. Like everyone, not only do we love playing the game so much, most of us just love talking about the game, right? Like it's I don't know, man. It's so nice to have people, like, have a community essentially that you can just stand around and shoot the shit with about a kid's game. It's really cool. I guess let's talk a little bit about Nat. So obviously we had Laserforce Internationals 2024 was hosted at your home site in Loveland. How did you feel you went? How do you feel your team kind of went?
So, me personally, going into Nats, I was very nervous because, believe it or not, that was my second tournament of all.
Wait, what?
That was my second tournament of all.
That's awesome.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. So I was a lot of stress because not only this was my second tournament, but also because since I was on the B team of Finale, I thought that I and my team, we all thought this because we all ended up meeting afterwards of Nats and talking about how we felt. We were all very nervous because we thought we had to be the next A team and we had to be the up and coming runners. We all wanted to, obviously, one, win, but two, we also had a second goal in mind of having fun.
I mean, I assume you hit the second goal.
Hey, oh yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's amazing how much fun you have when you win games. Winning games is really fun.
That's accurate.
That's interesting though, because normally, like, in my experience, expectation for a B team is, if we don't finish last, that's cool. That's our goal. We won't finish last. You guys, obviously, like, what was the expectation then? Like, were you expecting not to come last, or were you like, oh no, we think we're gonna come, top two, or did you guys have that kind of thought process?
So, some of us did. Some of us had the expectation that we were going to come lower in the bracket. Some of us thought we were going to come higher in the bracket. Me, personally, I thought we were going to land where we exactly placed. Right. I thought we were going to land fourth.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that we had a good, strong backline, a good, strong offense, and all we needed to do was just keep level-headed and just keep moving forward and take everything on the chin with a grain of salt and just keep moving forward.
How do you think your team kind of was able to get that? Like, what helped you guys get to that kind of expectation or that result?
So obviously, since we had the only time we ever got to practice was against the A team, and practicing against your own A team a billion times over can get pretty boring, but can also get pretty intense, because you're either getting smashed or you're getting smashed. It's really a no-brainer at that point. But really, what the A team told us for expectations wise is, as long as you learn something, I count that as a win. It doesn't matter if you win or lose, as long as you learned something new and you learned how to play the arena differently, or how to play your role the perfect way, or not the perfect way, but the right way in the arena, I'd count that as a win. And so we just ended up discussing a lot of how we needed to perfect our roles, is how we needed to do this. Like, did we need our scouts to do this? Did we need me as the commander do this? Did we need our resupplies to do this? We just talked and talked and talked, and eventually we found the key components to winning us some games.
Right. Was there any sorry, Dan, was there anyone in particular that message was coming from on the A team?
It was mostly coming from Tucker.
Right.
It was mostly coming from Tucker. It was also coming from Mischief as well, and the Fear Turkey.
Yeah.
It was coming from those three that they essentially told us, we want you to learn, and we really don't care what place you get, as long as you learned something new and you learned a valuable lesson throughout this tournament.
That's real mature. It's a real mature way to approach the game. On that, like, how is that for you when that message comes from your older brother? Like, how does that kind of dynamic work for you? Like, is it like,
really?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. How I felt when I came across is just like, hey, okay, I'm going to learn something new. I'm going to learn how to play commander better.
Yeah.
I'm going to learn how to resource manage, how to effectively trade, how to put myself in the right places. I'm going to learn something new that is going to develop me better.
Right. He listens to Josiah more than you. That's yeah, not abnormal.
Yeah. Yeah. Tucker making that comment in chat. I'm like, yep, that tracks. Yeah, I can definitely say, like, watching you guys across the week, it was a lot of fun, basically watching you guys kind of figure out, oh, this is the intensity level. Because I know in, like, all the extended members nights leading up to Nats, like, I know I said it to you a bunch, and I'm sure your A team said it to you a bunch. I'm sure other people also said it too. It's like the step up in intensity from a members night, even when you're having really solid games and really fun games and really at each other games, into an actual national type tournament. Like, the step up in intensity there is a lot, and you don't necessarily understand the step up until you're actually in it and are able to go, oh, that's what they meant. And so I know in the lead up, like, I think we had you guys finishing 6th in our pre-tournament brackets, because we kept looking at your team going, there's a lot of talent there. We know there's a lot of talent there. We don't know how they're going to handle the step up in intensity and stress, and is that going to feed a meltdown, because it's happened. And the level to which you guys coped and figured things out and didn't let setbacks absolutely just fucking, destroy you was fucking incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it was a really great credit to the work that you guys put in leading up to, and the adjustments that you were able to make during. So I genuinely think that you guys need to and I'm sure you have at this point, like it was a really good performance, and I know I'm very interested to see what happens with you guys in various ways, shapes, and forms in future tournaments, because you guys have really proven oh yeah, no, we can go into a pressure cooker and it's okay. We're going to have our setbacks because setbacks happen because it's a tournament and setbacks happen, but we're going to have those and we're going to be fine and we're going to keep going. So yeah, you guys definitely, I know in some of your guys' minds, you didn't overperform, you performed right where you thought you should be, but you definitely overperformed what a bunch of us thought you were going to. And honestly, that type of stuff I love being wrong about. I love being wrong when I pick somebody's position and they end up higher because they perform better than I expected them to. So and also facing you in the arena, fuck you. Stop shooting me, you asshole.
This is spoken like a true resupply.
Correct.
What is your preferred role?
So my preferred role is actually kind of a curveball to most people's surprise. It is actually ammo and commander. Those are the two preferred roles that I have. My favorite is probably heavy or scout.
So just anything but medic. But you still play medic.
Yeah, I still play medic.
Yeah.
I mean, I have nothing against medic. It's just that I'm bad at it. And I can't really. I try to think of ways to improve on medic, and I'm just like, man, this is I'm slamming my head against a wall. What can I do differently?
Yeah, I find it's
a different mindset.
Yeah.
Playing medic, there's ways and means that you can adjust, but it is such a different mindset that you have to be in around do I take the shot or do I just avoid the situation, versus when you're playing almost anything else, it's I'm going to take this fucking shot and deal with what happens. That there's just those extra kind of 3 or 4 decisions you have to make as medic as to whether something is actually going to be worth your time to try to do, or if discretion is going to be the better part of valor. So
I think it's so counterintuitive to laser tag. Laser tag, when you boil it down, is the game is run around and shoot people. Medic is kind of that one role where that's not how you play medic. You're gonna lose Space Marines game very quickly if your medic is just run around and shoot people. Yeah, which seems to suit your game, right? You got a lot of speed, which I assume.
Fuck you.
Yeah, we're a little bit jealous.
No, we're a lot bit jealous. Let's get it right.
I mean, that was, to be honest, that was one of the things that we were banking on during Nats, was if my speed can beat the other commander.
Yeah.
That was one of the strategies that sort of the A team told us, and what I told myself and what our team needed was my speed kills.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of commanders sort of, they knew how fast I was, but when you see it versus when you hear about it is completely two different things.
Correct.
Did you find you were faster than pretty much everyone else in the maze, or is there a couple that are maybe quicker?
So I found majority of the people can keep up with me.
Yeah.
It's just that when I kick it up a notch, that's when the gap sort of begins to form. And I really don't know who else can keep up with me when I actually turn it on.
Ghost.
I was just
Yeah.
gonna say it would be Ghost. Like,
Yeah, if I'm legitimately thinking back through, I legitimately think that Jarrett is probably the only other person that is on par speed wise with you.
how are you up the ramps? Like, is that where your speed is like kicking off?
Uh, I guess it varies. It's just what I do with my legs. It's either I step flat-footed
Yeah.
or I step on my toes.
Right.
That's how my speed varies, because
Right.
stepping on your toes is actually faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it just varies. And so going up the ramps, I have to step on my toes. And I did, some stuff in high school that taught me how to get up ramps faster and how to get up hills faster. So I took that knowledge and I took the natural talent that I have of turning corners and I combined them together, and that sort of just evolved into who sets up faster, me or the other commander. And
Right.
it's usually me or it's a tie.
Huge. So that's like, so not only is it speed but also like quickness as well, right? Like that's that like ability to just from a dime like shoot off in a random direction, which obviously helps to anticipate paths and all of, and like you say, like beat other teams to the spot. It's such a massive advantage, dude.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm casting my mind back to even when I was at my fastest, which is again many years ago now. And even at my fastest, I don't think I would have had a chance of matching up to you getting up those ramps. So so congratulations on having a certain amount of additional kind of natural speed, along with you've done things to help make it faster, and screw over the rest of us. So well done.
Have you played any other arenas?
So I've played in Lost Worlds. I don't know if you've heard of it. It
That's the
was
LA
in
one,
Yeah.
right?
I've played in that one, and that's the really only other one that I've played in.
Right.
I went for a Megas members night that we combined, that we sort of found out, and sort of some of the people from like Cali and us in Loveland were just like, hey, we should go do this. And so we sort of made a Mega members night out of that. But I am planning on going to Syracuse, New York
Awesome.
for the random draw tournament.
I was gonna ask, yeah, if that was on the cards, because it'd be interesting to see how you find with your maze. So I'm not a huge fan of the Loveland Arena, only because at this late stage in my playing career, my knees are just shot. So not only are my knees gone, I'm carrying about almost 100 pounds worth of extra weight that I shouldn't be. And so the ramps and the altitude just kill me, so I don't have a fun time at all. It'd be interesting to see how you find the Syracuse arena, because it's it's one level, there's no ramps. There's I guess the only thing you have to worry about is kind of the blind corners, but it'd be really cool to see how your speed goes through that arena. Evol's just put in chat, wants to see more Strickva in future tournaments. Hell yeah. I think we all do. Have you guys thought about teams for... we won't move on from Nats just yet, but have you thought about a team for Syracuse?
So, as far as the Lovelanders that are going, it is Ghost, me, Azra, the Fear Turkey, and I think that's about all from Loveland that are going.
Right. Decent.
That's still not bad for going to upstate New York in fucking January.
Whose idea was that?
I can tell you this from experience. I've been to central New York in January and December, so I've felt the real cold.
Yeah.
And so I've been telling everybody the cold is no joke up there. I'm gonna tell you, pack warm.
Yeah.
It's different cold, because it's not the dry cold that you guys are used to. It's that wet cold which just seeps into like everything and actually hurts. So
Evil.
yeah, ugh.
It's cold.
Fuck
You
off,
and
Joel.
Beans can get right in the bin, you shorts wearing motherfuckers. Oh yeah, I'd be keen to see. Hopefully, I don't know if Beans is planning on streaming that tournament, but it'd be cool to kind
I'm
of.
sure he is.
Surely.
At this point, at this point, is it even a real Force tournament if it's not being streamed on Twitch?
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there. Like even if there's no commentary team or whatnot, is it really a Force tournament if it's not being streamed on Twitch?
Exactly. I'm gonna try and set up bloody I forget what it's called, the streaming software that we use. I don't know why I started talking about this. I can't remember the name of it. I'm gonna see if I can set up on my my mini PC. Anyway, who cares about that? Let's go back to Nat. So, did you have any like highlights or any kind of what moments kind of stood out for you for the week? Like, what were your kind of highlights of the week?
So there's 2 serious ones, and then there's 1 hilarious one.
Perfect.
So the 2 serious ones was both matches against Inner Peace California A and Cedar City Sentinels. Why those were the 2 that I picked is because I learned so much. Because at first, I'll tell you this right now, our original lineup was me, Commander, White Ninja, Heavy. And in one of the round play tournaments, we decided to switch it up because we were just like, we know we're going to lose pretty badly, but we need to experiment as well in case this needs to happen. We learned a lot, and we learned that switching the roles did absolutely nothing.
That's a good thing to know. It's a good thing to know.
But we also did learn what our strengths are as far as the other roles go. We knew that our scouts can obviously not keep up with Callier scouts because I will give you guys such high praise. DK and Nolan, sweets, excellent combo. The 2 communicators of the group just yelling out orders and saying, hey, this is happening, that is happening, just everything's going on. Information feeding it into Dill, into Cayman, into the resupplies. It's phenomenal.
So good.
And so we learned a lot. For the Cedar City game, we learned literally the same thing. We learned that we just needed to have more game sense. Like, we needed to read the game better. Because at certain times, there were points of where we thought we were winning, and then Dill drops 2 at us, somebody dies, and then we go, we're not winning anymore. Or Caleb's just straight speed nukes us and we freak out because we're a bunch of rookies and we're just like, what's going on? And then we have to find the voice of reason of, hey, he's just doing this to put pressure on us. He's on low resupplies or X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, the first game the first match that you guys have at the tournament was Cedar City, if I remember correctly. And I remember they punched you guys in the face super fucking hard in that match. It was like welcome to Nats. Here you go. And and you guys just got, I'm not going to say completely fucking destroyed because you did put up a good fight, but you got completely fucking destroyed. You got turned over by a better team in that moment.
Yeah.
And you know, again, it's going to happen, but what you guys took from that and actually like, oh, well, yep, that sucked. And now let's apply some things that we've learned to our next couple of matches that are winnable, and you guys did. Like that really, like that genuinely was just like that showed that you guys, your heads were in it, and you were, you know, not gonna let, you know, one ass whooping basically define your whole tournament. So yeah, again, it's always nice when you see a you know, any team at a tournament that is, you know, coming in. I think you guys, all 6 of you were rookies. coming in, you get that punch in the face, and it doesn't melt you down.
Mm.
It's like, okay, well, we'll move on to the next one.
Yeah, we definitely did some talking after that match of just like, hey, this is the level that we need to play at. Get ready.
Real quick, Ducky, thank you for the 52 months, bro. Appreciate you. 52 months is a long ass time.
It really is. Jesus Christ.
Like, and you said before, we're a bunch of rookies, so like we weren't expecting it. That the way they were playing, and like Caleb did it to everyone except for Loveland A from memory in that first round, was just come out and just smash like immediately, like get to that nuke and nuke like within the first like 60 seconds. Yeah, it was crazy. It was like fast. 90. So fast, and it's such a hard thing to weather. So like, I wouldn't necessarily put it down to we're rookies, so we didn't know. But I mean, yeah, like even seasoned vets, that's gonna mess you up. Like that's a hard thing to kind of withstand. That's how Brisbane kind of used to play back in the day. Not quite that fast, but they would come out of the gate and just overwhelm. It was the kind of tsunami effect, right? Like if you can overwhelm them in the first couple of minutes of the game, they can never really get a foothold for the rest of the game, and then you can take your time. But if you're able to weather that storm, or weather that first attack, then it's sorry. That's adorable. Yeah, you can like,
it's fucking annoying is what it is, but he's gonna do it to me regardless, so stop trying to eat my headphones, Malcolm.
Who in your squad kind of takes like control, or like who's the calming voice in that team, in your guys' team, after that happens?
So really it had to come down to, I'm pretty sure I can remember this play by play. We get speed nuked and we essentially all go down, and unfortunately I didn't go down because I didn't hear the call that got down. Worst possible thing that I can imagine.
Yeah.
But all that happens is that they hear my voice of Caleb's down, Snowfall's down, and all of a sudden they're just like, oh my god, both 3 shots are down. They get a resupply and they just come back up, and I think that was one of the turning points for us.
Yeah.
Was all of a sudden they just heard my voice, and that was only the one time that I was the calming voice. The main leadership that I have to give it out to is Azra. She was putting people in the right places, giving out orders, telling us, hey, you need to get out of the resupplies, or hey, you need to come back for stuff, or just doing that. She was the main leadership of our group.
Awesome.
But that was one of my moments, and mainly all the credits to her.
That's really cool to hear. Like, Azra's kind of on the list of people we kind of want to get on the show at some point. Because yeah, it was awesome to kind of see. You could kind of see that, in a sense, like just from the spectator's point of view, and the like, not being on site, it's hard to get a gauge of what's actually happening in the arena and what's happening out in the foyer and stuff. So, the information that we were getting in the commentary booth was, exactly that. Like, the leadership is coming from Ezra. So it's awesome. Really, really cool, and really like nice testament to the leadership qualities that, like, less experienced players are able to show. Yeah, it's really cool.
Sorry, Malcolm is messing with shit on my desk, and I don't have my mic muted, so you're just hearing him mess with shit on my desk.
Dad, feed me.
That's pretty much what it is, but he can wait. That's he can wait.
Big on, cat.
It'll be fine.
He'll live.
What was the humorous highlight from the week?
So it was when Cedar City had to face Loveland Phoenix. And it's exactly, Dan remembers this, when the radios started dying.
Oh.
So the radios started dying, and it happened mid-match. So we obviously didn't know what to do. And I see the fear turkey, Josiah, come walking out of closet, puts his hand on his hip, puts his gun on the wall, as the radio is dead, and he goes, this is not good. And I look at him and I go, no, it's not.
What did happen? Like, did they just fully shut off?
It was a case of the packs had been running basically nonstop from like 9 o'clock that morning because they had a Space Marines camp for kids to start the day. And so so everything was running through that, and then they had a normal day of business, and then they had tournament, and so it was just hitting that point where it's like the packs were just like, really? Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Because that was about like 1:30 in the morning or something, 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. So, it was a thing, and because Gen 8s are Gen 8s, back in the day, it used to be, between games at tournaments or like whatever packs weren't being used, you'd go in and you'd pin the packs just because like, oh yeah, batteries, this, that, the other. Gen 8, we haven't had to do that because the battery life typically is, much longer. And it's a little less convenient to pin the packs on Gen 8s than Gen 7 and before. But yeah, so it was just a case of the packs started dying, and when packs start dying, and especially when you're not used to that being a thing anymore, it just leads to some very, as James says, some very humorous interactions as people are like, well, this is unacceptable.
This is
like,
not good.
Yeah, but of course, like saying that, like I literally think back to like tournaments on Gen 4s, Gen 5s, Gen 6s, Gen 7s, where it's like, yeah, that did used to happen like a lot.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't something that was like, oh yeah, no, this is we just know this is going to happen at a certain point. No matter how much we pin the packs, we're going to start dying.
Packs on that side of the wall, no one used. That for later.
Yeah, they're being charged. Yeah.
Funnily enough, I did start playing near the era ending of Gen 6 and started playing on Gen 7s. So
of course.
I got a taste of counting shots and counting lives, and I was never good at it. I'm still probably never good at it. I'm still probably going to be so trash at it.
But it's like that would have put you in a position like, and we get this less and less with newer players now, is listening to stuff over the loudspeakers, like, hearing when a nuke goes, or hearing how ahead, or how what the deficit is in the scores, like in the team scores. Like, do you kind of listen out for that stuff, or
So the only thing that I really listen out for is if it's an enemy nuke or if it's a friendly nuke.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that really like gives it away, is because there's different sound tones and there's different sound bites for it. But really, now that on Gen 8, now that shows you your lives, shows you your shots, it's really a game of resource management, of looking down at your phaser and not paying attention. So, I mean, that's the only really loudspeaker hit tone that I really listen to, is if it's a friendly nuke, if it's an enemy nuke, or whatever.
Still a really important one. And probably, like, in the Space Marines, that's probably the main one. Like, if you can hear that, like, if you can recognize a nuke drop tone, because, some people, they don't hear it. And, like, just hearing that tone is quite an important thing. So, yeah, it's definitely a part of the game that is being lost to new equipment, is people are less inclined to actually listen to some of that stuff over the loudspeaker, which is a shame, because that kind of stuff is really important. Like, if you're in a position where, all right, we know that maybe it's game 2 of a match and you won the first game, but you didn't elim, but you won it by heaps of points. And so hearing over the loudspeaker, that your team is behind by 2,000 points. All right, we're losing this, but we can't give the game away. If we get elimed, we lose the match. That kind of stuff at a Nats can be really important. So, you know, it's just one of those things like that may get phased out of the game. It may not. Who knows? Don't know.
It's a quality of life thing.
Yeah, for sure. And like, you know, you get a lot of information off the back of your phaser now that we never had, you know, back in the day. Like, yeah.
I mean, you had it. You just had to be very, very good at keeping a lot of disparate elements in your head all at the same time. And I mean, there is part of me that admittedly does miss those days because that was part of the skill of the game. It was keeping all of those pieces in your head all at once. Having said that, the barrier to entry to this game is high enough as it is, and so you know, things that help newer players and more experienced players as well, things that help players in general, you know, with that sort of resource management and everything else. Like, it's not a bad thing, and I do think that it is better for the game overall to have it. But every so often there is that little bit of nostalgia for, you know, back in my goddamn day, we had to keep track of our shots and lives and hit points and everything else like in our goddamn heads, and we had to keep track of where our nukes were just in our heads by how many people we had shot. We just and you only got the first nuke of it, only the first nuke available if you would stack nukes. You didn't know you would stack nukes. Oh no, you had to like just keep track of how many people you had shot. God damn it.
Old Man Prospector might be one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, get off my goddamn lawn.
Yeah, I think for that, like, it was kind of, for us who are less physically gifted, that was kind of where we could maybe gain an advantage over other players, right? Like, I'm never going to outrun anyone, but if I can be more cerebral in a match, that's how I can get an edge over a competitor who is faster, who has longer endurance, like all this kind of stuff. So, I don't know, maybe that's why the game kind of is a little easier to play with that stuff, but that's a good thing, I think. Like you say, it removes the barrier to entry, so I don't know.
It lowers the barrier to entry. The barrier to entry is still
lower, yeah. Lowers. Yeah. So what's next for you? Like, are you obviously with Syracuse? Given any thoughts to Nats next year?
So as much, yeah, obviously the Syracuse thing is happening. I've obviously already bought tickets and all that,
Awesome.
and
Well done.
so got all that sorted out. I really want to go to next Nats, but I feel like that's gonna be a bit of a stretch for somebody of my stature, because obviously I'm not making this amount of money per month that other people are making so that they can do it. But I'm not saying it's not possible. Someone of my stature could definitely do it.
Yeah.
And so I think I will be participating in next Nats. But it all depends on like what happens in between now and then.
Sure. And I guess like it's not just what you're able to do, right? It's like, well, yeah, if I go, who am I going to play with? So, yeah, I get it. As someone who's made very terrible financial decisions over the course of my life, you're at an age, I guess, where like it's not going to cripple you. So, you know, just rack that credit card. No, don't do that. This is not financial advice, kids.
Yeah, don't take. There's certain pieces of financial advice you should not take from the Resupply.
That's
probably
all. Any financial advice, don't listen to us. But I don't know, like, if it is something, and this is not just for you, but for anyone else that's looking to travel next year, reach out to some of the locals, because, you know, obviously accommodation is quite a big one. That's a massive cost when you look to come overseas. So I don't know, reach out. The community's pretty good, so I know that, you know, there could be opportunity for people to stay with others or whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna see about borrowing my mum's camper van and stay in there. That would be sweet. But yeah, yeah, it's a tough one. But if I don't know, have you traveled outside of the country yet?
I have. I've went to various different places. Obviously, I've been to New York, but I had never been to Syracuse, New York.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Orlando, Florida,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been to LA. Obviously, I've traveled a bit,
Mm.
but not that much.
Mm.
But still, I have a father who travels all the time for work,
Yeah.
and he loves to give me advice on just saying, "Hey, you should do it this way instead of this way because it's cheaper, and also you get free seating." And
Yeah.
I'm just like, you know what? You got a point.
Yeah. So the one thing that I will say for anybody who is looking to travel for nationals in Brisbane next year, if you don't already have your passport, you, you need to start that process now. Like if you do not already have it, you need you need to do it because I get that's kind of an important document to have to travel outside of the country. So
Little one. It's just a little thing.
little minor insignificant booklet of things. It's like, oh yeah, I'm I can do this, and then on top of the passport, there's they'll for American citizens, there's an electronic travel visa that you have to get, but that is like not that expensive.
Yeah, reach out to like for like Loveland's instance, like you guys have had a bunch of people that have traveled down this side of the world now, so like reach out to people who have made the trip before and just ask them, what kind of documents and stuff you kind of need, and kind of time frames and things that they wish they'd done differently, like travel with a good airline and not get their baggage lost. Which for some reason happens every time the Americans travel down the side of the world, but I digress. Than, have you got anything else that you wanted to ask Strickva before we finish up for the day?
I don't think I have anything necessarily to ask. More just I'm very excited and intrigued to see like what you do at future tournaments. Like I think all of us that were doing the extended members nights in the lead up to Nats were all like, oh yeah, this Strickva kid, he's got some talent, but what's going to happen when he gets into the pressure cooker? And then you got into the pressure cooker and basically gave us all middle fingers. We're like, fuck you, I'm shooting you a lot. And,
take this, old man.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's going to be really kind of cool to see how you go in tournaments in arenas that aren't yours. And I think that there's a lot of us that are like very kind of eagerly awaiting how like you and then also everybody else who was on that Loveland B team, like we're all very curious to see like, okay, we know they can perform inside their home arena. The next step is how do they perform when they're not at home? And so yeah, we're all very much curious because you had you and you in particular, your entire team in general, all I think had breakout performances at this last Nats. So yeah,
for sure.
Just, but also if you could just not shoot me that much when we're in tournaments together again.
That's why you just be in commentary. Cool. No one can shoot you if you're the commentator. It's great.
That's valid.
Just to add to that, we have a lot of, I think, respect after the way you guys held yourselves at this tournament, just being and like the way you guys prepared for it, and this goes for the Loveland Laser Tag Center as a whole. The way your site conducted themselves during this tournament, like I think the entire community took notice. So if you aren't already, which I'm sure you are, you guys should be really proud of the way that you guys performed this year. And I think looking forwards, we're all pretty excited to see what you guys have got going forwards. Hopefully the depth continues to be there for Loveland Laser Tag, and hopefully you guys continue to show up and be a part of the scene for a little while. It'd be kind of cool. On that, if anyone out there wants to see, because I see that the I think must be Luke is starting to put individual games or individual matches up on the YouTube page. So if you guys want to see the matchups, go check out that channel there in chat.
It's a much nicer way of trying to watch matches than having to kind of go through the entire 12-hour streams to find the one that you're after. So,
listen to my bullshit.
I mean, you gotta listen to your bullshit anyway because you're still there.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah. That's a real shame.
We did put timestamps in each individual match, so
did
that
you?
was the thing that we can see.
Yep.
Yeah, we did.
That's awesome. That was actually really helpful. Real helpful for like the full streams, those timestamps. Yeah, it was such a good way to do it. So shout out to you guys. But did you have anything that you wanted to say before we call it a day?
I just gotta say that I am really thankful that that you guys accepted me on here and that we sort of got to chat about this stuff because, like Than said, people love talking about laser tag, and how you said it, Steve-O, is that we not only love playing laser tag, we love talking about laser tag.
Yeah.
And even while sitting here in my chair, I was constantly bouncing my foot, and I was like, man, I'm really excited. I'm really excited. I can't hide it.
Wait, what day is it?
They gotta catch on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm already thinking like 2 weeks ahead. I'm just like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah. Every time I talk about it, I'm just like, oh yeah, okay, I want to go. Let's go. I'm glad, man. I'm glad that we were separated by decades, but we're all kind of the same in that way. Like we're all real amped to play laser tag. It's really funny. You just got half the time is Josiah Strickva and I talking about matches. Go back over them. It's the best. It's one of the best things about being in a competitive laser tag scene is sitting around like basically old people and be like, hey, you remember that game? Oh yeah, I remember that game. It's so good.
Remember that game when we won?
Yeah.
Like nationals,
yeah.
The game that was so good.
Yeah, those kind of highlights will stick with you forever too. Like anytime me and Than hang out in person, we mention our Ballarat win at least once. We talk about those matches.
It's accurate.
It's great.
Yeah, it's accurate.
But also, thank you for giving us your time to come on today, dude. Like, it's, we love hearing stories from people in our community. So, we appreciate you spending a little bit of time with us today. Because otherwise just me, Than, and sometimes DK just, being old.
Reminiscing.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Reminiscing. All right.
His way sounds much better than yours, bro.
Yeah.
Throwing that out there.
Who's got a podcast? No.
Oh.
No, well, I'm saying that you should. You can take my job.
I could do it. That's my pleasure.
Just grow your hair long and I don't know, be louder than anyone else, dude. Thanks, Photoshop. Have a good one. All right. Well, look, for this coming up this week, we hopefully will have some midweek streams again. Things have been a bit all over the show with just various being in other places and stuff. I kind of want to get back into making this pipe on stream again. I'm very excited. I've already got in mind some stuff to make it really cool. So we'll talk about that later. We'll be on.
Yeah, please don't cut your finger off. Please.
I'm more worried about the moneymaker. Like every time I drill into something, like something's gonna snap and shoot up and blind me or something.
Safety glasses.
Right, help us out with this next part, James, if you could. We'll hopefully have a show next week. We'll keep you guys in the loop.
We don't. No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking 2 weeks ahead to the 22nd when I know we've got Lizzie coming on, and I was thinking that was next week, and I'm like, wait a minute, no, that's not right.
Not fundraising for pipe making PPE.
Yeah, next week's questionable. The week after we have a show.
Right.
So,
We'll keep you guys on the loop. But for this week, I've been Guy Next Door.
I've been Fan.
And I've been Strickva.
Always remember to backtrack, kids. We will see you probably, hopefully, next week. Ka kite anō.